time for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. All right, we have on the program today 5 burning questions, and some of those questions are, I'm not going to give them to you, all of them right now. What is this love affair with James Harden that these folks seem to have? And has the Patriots run as a dynasty come to an end? And, of course, as always, our continuation of the NFL's notable team performances, Week 14. Joining me on the program today to discuss this and a few of our other questions is none other than my cap from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's happening?
Brother, I'm always honored and humbled to be on this wonderful platform with you and our wonderful friend and co-host up there from the other side. And, of course, you know, I'm here calling from Dallas, from Mr. Jones's suite, as you got me an appointment to be with him today. I thank you very much.
I don't have to get you an appointment. How can you say all of the things? How can you preface all of that? You know, you glad to be on the program today, and then talk about, you can't be glad to be on the program because you're talking about Jerry Jones. Who is that? Where they do that at? And anyway, going to my man on the other side of the ledger from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say. If you mention anything about Dallas today, you and Brother Rich will both be on mute for the entire rest of the program. Oh, he not going to say nothing. He muted himself. Yeah, exactly. Because he knew he was going to say something about Double Jones or whatever your name is now, you and Jerry. Hey, I got something interesting, too, I want to point out about the Cowboys. We'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, let's start with the 5 burning questions.
We would have never guessed.
Oh, we'd definitely talk about the Browns, too. And when OBJ leave, I'm definitely up out of here with him. Oh, and not only that, if I'm Myles Garrett, the first chance I get to be up out of here, I'm asking to be traded. Yeah, he was down there too long by himself. But anyway, first question of the 5 burning questions is, as I mentioned, what is this love affair with James Harden? Now, we all know, Double J, I'll start with you, but we all know that the Rockets, at the time I wrote this, I was saying that the Rockets were likely to file a protest over a missed dunk that Harden had in the 135-133 loss to the Spurs. That was last Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, it was. While the show was, of course, going on, the Rockets and the Spurs were going at it. Double J, what's this love affair? And this whole, I saw the dunk, you know, for the refs to miss that completely, man. It spoke volumes about officiating in general in the new era of sports, or professional sports as we like to call them. And I'm going to even give it to the NFL too, the Today BA. I might as well just use that all the way across the board for these new sports. But go ahead, tell us, what in the world is this love affair with Harden?
Well, you know, as the analytical person and stat-driven person, this is when the numbers get used against you. And people are taking this to a level that I didn't, you know, I almost feel like we're in bizarro world. That I couldn't, the three of us can't be on this island by ourselves here. And I'm reading everything from the fact that, I mean, this is serious now. Is he the most dominant scorer since Wilt Chamberlain? So again, I'm going to say it one more time. James Harden. Is James Harden the most dominant scorer since Wilt Chamberlain?
You know what? Let me oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, by all means.
Take
it from here.
Let me say that. Let me say this. You asked that question, and it's a very good question. Because here's what's happening. And I'll harken back to last week. I think I mentioned it when I was at work and we were having a sports discussion. It was a young guy, and I threw a stat. I asked him, not a stat. I asked him, well, who was such and such and such and such. You know, like I do with you all about who's Cleo Miller when y'all talk about the Browns. And he didn't know. And he had the nerve to say, man, talk about some stats from 85. If it wasn't at 85, it don't mean nothing. See, that's the problem. The question that you asked is a good one, but it's a misleading one, not directed at you per se, but one in general from our, of course, Double J, you and I are on Facebook. He's a scorer, most dominant scorer. But here's the thing. I keep saying this over and over again. Based on what? We have to, and again, this is not directed to you, but it's directed to those people who've asked the same question, quote unquote, or technically. We have to factor in all of the variables which would lend themselves to asking such a question. And you say, since Wilt. Well, Wilt in the competition faced, everybody will say, well, the league back then was all 5'4" guys and so on and so forth. Well, wait a minute. The quality of play would substantiate the question being asked in regards to Wilt as opposed to James Harden. If I'm not mistaken, the guy to my left here, Mr. California A himself, has said on numerous occasions that, say it again for the people, Brother Rich, about James Harden.
Well, I'll continue to maintain that James Harden is the most overrated superstar player in the history of NBA, and certainly in the modern context of the NBA. And this is where I'm fascinated with this conversation even going here, because we're still in the era where just a few years ago, we saw in real time Steph Curry do what he did from an offensive point of view. And in real time, we saw a player by the name of Klay Thompson touch the ball 11 times and score 60 points. So that we're talking about a player who makes everybody else stand around and makes the rest of his teammates irrelevant, and who can never win with that style, and who is, in essence, being allowed to play playground basketball while the rest of the league rehabs and load manages and goes through injuries and takes the first part of the season off while everybody adjusts and work their depth and work on. This guy being allowed to just go ahead and run around and shoot the ball and play around. And we have people who have played with him who are now telling us what it's like to play with James Harden. And it's not a good experience for a basketball player. So that anybody is even mentioning James Harden in best anything in any sentence,
it's a travesty.
I don't even think such a conversation. It's a travesty.
It's a travesty. You see what I'm saying? And this, unfortunately, hold on, we got Gully jumping in here right quick. Give me a second here, fellas. Let me get him going on the line here. Bear with me. Gully, that's you?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
It's all to the GO. We got my man from the CO Lumbus, D. Gully, joining us on the P-Rogram. Good looking out, dog, on everything. But, yeah, as I was saying,
absolutely.
And I'll mention this, too. Earlier, I was on the I'll say that here in a second. But at the end of the day, it's a travesty because it's too many people that's got a lot to say. Now, an opinion is an opinion. I get all of that. But here on this program, in this platform, we deal in factinions, fact-based opinions. Do you understand? I can lay something out for you, and you go look it up for yourself to see whether or not if it's true. Like I said, we can differ in how we think about this or how we think about that, but what we can't differ on, the fact is, you got a left arm and a right arm. Everybody got a left arm and a right arm, right? You can say mine's is longer than yours, but the point is there are some things that are true no matter how you see it. They're true, and they should be that way for everybody. In this context, man, it irks me to no end that you got these new type dudes discussing sports as if they're I just put a post up yesterday on Facebook about the people that's saying the things they saying, like what they say about James Harden and all these new era guys, is guys who were born last night. As if though the NBA didn't start until they was born. Are you serious? We could say that and make a case for Wilt. And again, that conversation, let's go back to that conversation we was having about the GOAT. I said, what? Before we even go down that road, we must first establish what? What are we basing it on? Because if we basing it on resumes, then it's got to be Kareem or Russell. And the reason why I say Kareem in particular, do you know that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I might have mentioned this before, and if I did, forgive me for being redundant. If I didn't, if you're hearing it for the first time, oh, well, you might learn yourself something today. Kareem was the only player in college basketball who was responsible for the dunk being outlawed for a decade. And here it is, these guys on social media,
Right.
they don't even know that. But swear up and down, if you say something in regards to something that's factual, right, you a hater. I love it when they do that. So I'm bringing this all back around to say this. It's very misleading to say that Harden is the most dominant scorer when he does not have in front of him the type of, let's say, degree of difficulty that the other guys you mentioned, Double J, and the other guys we keep talking about to this day had in front of them. So how can then this both be weighed the same? They cannot. I was on a program earlier today. Gully, you know, and Brother Rich, you know. I don't know if you know Double J, but I do I used to be the NBA analyst for the Triple Threat show. It's in Chicago. And now they renamed themselves, pretty good actually, and they kind of specified now. They kind of their niche is boxing. They discuss boxing, and it's called The Parlay now. You all should check it out. It's pretty good actually. My cat T-Lo, Tony Lopez up in Chicago, and Kendall Gill. That's right, the Kendall Gill played at the University of Illinois, and with the Charlotte Hornets. And we were discussing, they called me today. Jay, you want to be on the show, man? We need you on. Oh, okay, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And I've been with them guys for a long time now. It's all love, man. But you all should really check out The Parlay. And my cat, Tony Lopez, tell him Barbershop Jay sent you too. But Kendall and I, and he and I were going back and forth. I mean, it wasn't not like a banner or nothing like that. We just was having a good flow to the conversation. And T-Lo asked me a question about basketball. We got off boxing for a minute. And that kind of sort of came up. I said, Kendall, be 100 with me. I said, you see how these dudes, and the reason why I call it the Today BA, he started laughing, yeah. I said, you see how these dudes roll the ball up the floor? The offensive player. Double J, you seen that, I'm sure. Brother Rich, you seen that, I'm sure. Gully, you seen that, I'm sure. Right? I said, put Muggsy out in front of one of these guys that's doing that. Brother Rich, do you think that a player would dare to roll the ball up the floor if Muggsy Bogues at 5'0" was in front of him?
Absolutely not.
Do you think so, Gully?
Absolutely not.
Gully?
No, not at all.
Okay, Double J, do you think so?
No.
Okay, then. See what I'm saying? So how you going to sit at the table with me when we had a school project? This might be a bad analogy. I did the work to put in the work, and all you did was bring the pencils, but you sitting there and think you're going to get the same credit I get. It's impossible. Right? No. James Harmon, yeah, right? E-Harmony. Free plug. James Harden is a dominant scorer with an asterisk because, and what was the Facebook picture last week? I think we talked about it was put up. James Harden's picture was next to the three other guys, and they said something similar. Yes, this is the guy, one of the most elite scorers in the country. I said the other guys play defense. It's a big difference, regardless of the level. I know I'm going on a tangent here, y'all. Bear with me. Regardless of the level, it's a big difference when a guy like Kobe put up 50 and 60 and 80, but could stop the other team's other guy who might not have been able to put up 60 or 40 or 50, but he was putting up averages that no other player was putting up before he got to Kobe. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Huh? James Harden don't play no defense, so I'm not surprised that he can put up 60 points a night 5 nights in a row because all his energy is on the offensive end. How do you get full credit for playing one side of the floor? Could you answer that for me, Gully? Go ahead.
No, I don't. I can't even think of a fiction to tell you.
A fiction, yeah. Brother Rich, can you answer that for me?
Above my pay grade.
Oh, okay.
That's Today BA, man. I can't do that.
Okay. Double J, answer that for me. Okay.
I got nothing.
Okay. See what I'm saying? So these are the kind of debates, what they call in debate, and conversations we having with so-called people who flood social media with who's better than who, and that guy could play then, and this guy could play that, and that. Man, stop it. You know what? I'm going to need y'all, them folks that sound like that was born last night, I'm going to need y'all to go stand in the corner and put your nose in it. Okay? So again, before we move on to the next question, let me ask, since Gully just now joined us, so to speak, what is this love affair with James Harden? Gully?
I didn't capture everything that you said about the Today VA. It's all a showcase of the ability to score the ball, which is only but one facet of of the game of basketball. I contend that there are three. There are at least two: an offensive presence and a defensive presence. And I think the third would be a situational presence that comprises elements of the two, where, a great defensive stop is as clutch as a great offensive score. James Harden showcases his impressive ability to score the basketball, because scoring is the flavor. Scoring is sexy. Okay, scoring is what puts the points on the board, what gets people, the ball in the hoop or what have you, gets people attracted. But it's just one facet of the game. He's great at doing that, and he's great at exploiting the rules or the lack of attention to detail and defensive, effort in today's game. So that's the love affair with James Harden.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not impressed. You know what I mean? Because all of that scoring, we already know, like Brother Richard been telling us forever and long in the day, we already know what the end result going to be. Now, how fantastic can you be? What makes an event like a sporting event? What makes it so that people are drawn in? Because of the intrigue. And this is the main reason why I keep mentioning that 94-95 series between the Knicks and the Pacers. Okay? That both win 7 games. Even though we had already seen them play in 94 and 95, you were tuned in again. Why? Because with all of the star power, so to speak, or despite the star power, you did not know the outcome. You had no clue. Every possession mattered. Do you understand what I'm saying? The intrigue was there. We already know what the case going to be with James Harden and whatever team he on. Where's the fun in that? I'd rather watch The Sound of Music. Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm moving on. The New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs. That was one of our notable team performances, games of the week or whatnot. We all saw what happened. The Chiefs, of course, beat the Patriots 23-16, I believe it was. Yeah. But the question here is, has the Patriots run as a dynasty come to an end? Brady's injuries, his toe and his elbow, they starting to pile up on the guy, so to speak. And he don't look the same. I think Belichick might be a little salty sitting over watching Jimmy G over there in San Fran. We're going to get to them, too. I think Belichick might be a little salty because he kind of saw the writing on the wall. If I'm not mistaken, Double J, help me out on this one. How long ago, it wasn't that long ago, maybe a few years ago, there was some chatter coming out of New England about Bill, because, Bill good for getting rid of folk now. Some talk about he might want to get rid of Brady. You know what I mean? Because he saw what he saw in Jimmy G, and Robert Kraft nixed the deal, and then there was some issue between Bill and Kraft too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, absolutely, and you got to remember it was actually it was Three's company over there, or Three's the crowd rather.
Okay, got you.
Because you didn't have just Garoppolo, you also had Jacoby Brissett.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So, I mean, you think well, and then not only that, I mean, after yesterday's game, it came out that the Patriots got caught, and the Browns gave them permission. Why? I have the Browns are beyond dysfunctional. I'm sorry. They just are this year. Excuse me. Gave the Patriots permission to videotape Cincinnati. Why, if you're the Patriots, knowing that, what was it, Gully, 2007 or 2006, the Patriots got caught for taping, and then the NFL found them to be guilty of it. It found that they had done so illegally.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Okay, so now if you're the Patriots, why would you even, if you don't want to be why put yourself in a predicament, is what I'm saying. And Bill Belichick said, look, we don't know nothing about the this and the that. Okay, that might be fine, man. But in this case, even if you are on the up and up, you're like the little boy who cried wolf, right? When you finally, you are telling the truth, who believes you? Because your track record just don't look good. And I have to mention the tuck rule and the deflate gate and the rule change with hitting Brady at the knee. That was against Kansas City too, if I'm not mistaken. When NFL came out after that, Brady got hit below the knee or something or another, and NFL couldn't change that rule fast enough to protect the quarterback, if you would. But I mean, what is going on with the Patriots? Are they done? Gully?
It's like this, the way I see it. I'm not too well surprised. I put it like this, if Ric Flair was a professional sports franchise, he'd be the New England Patriots, because by hook or by crook, he's always where the biggest moments happens. Okay. We should have known this by now. I mean, there are still those that still crown Tom Brady as the best quarterback ever, and Bill Belichick is the best quarterback ever. And then we just brought up that for 10 years, we've known, at least for 10 years, that they take a lot, they get a lot of footage by nefarious means, if you will. So the fact that we know that they study and they find ways to get more information than their opponents, and they get the video, you know what I mean? We know that already. We still coin them. It's the fact that they are still beatable no matter how much data they acquire. They lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants, and they lost to the Eagles, and they are beatable. But this isn't surprising for me. Let's see if they can still win despite it.
Exactly. Brother Rich, what say you?
Well, I think that time waits for no man, and a lot of the athletes have told us that Father Time is undefeated. They remind us consistently, and I think that's what we are seeing and understanding. You talked about it, you pointed it out to us, that in fact and indeed Belichick had his eye on the future. He understood this, but the fact is that, and remains, that Tom Brady came along in an era where athletes were coming into their power, and he being one of, if not the greatest quarterback, certainly of his era, and vying to be one of the best of all time, used that and leveraged that power with his owner to say, look, get my competition, anybody that could possibly back me up out of here, because I intend to be here by right, as I've won these 6 rings. And so now we're going to experience a time coming soon where the New England Patriots, what we know as the dynasty that has been New England Patriots, will obviously have a lull, just like we're watching the Golden State Warriors go through their lull period right now, and we're looking to see what replaces them.
Indeed.
Go Brown.
Oh, man, would you stop? Here's an interesting tidbit, though, on the Patriots. I don't know if I should have did this like as a did you know, but the starting center at the time, I don't know if he played or not. I didn't get to see all of the game, and I really couldn't catch him. But the starting center for the Patriots, Ted Karras, was scheduled to play. I don't know if he did, but had he not played, James Harden would have been his replacement. Now, did you all know that Ted Karras was third generation NFL player? Let me say it like that. His grandfather, Ted Karras Sr., and uncles Lou and Alex also played in the NFL in the 50s and 60s, as well as his father, Ted Jr. His grandfather, father, and Mr. Karras himself have all won NFL championships with the Bears, Washington, and Patriots, respectively. I thought that was rather interesting. And then Mr. Ferentz is, of course, the son of Iowa head coach Kirk Ferentz, who, by the way, is former Browns offensive line coach, 1993 to 1995, here with Bill Belichick. Yeah, all right. So at the end of the day here, the Chiefs look good. And by all accounts, if everything shakes out and kind of stays the same, we might be headed towards a Chiefs-Ravens AFC championship. Must be nice. Really, really nice. All right, question number 3. That's what I'd like to see anyway. Number 3, are the Buckeyes excuse me. Every time I say that word, I feel like up chucking. Don't laugh. That's not funny. I might mute you, but it is funny. Anyway, the Buckeyes, Hoop Squad, anyway, are they for real? I mean, a few clicks back, they just handed the Tar Heels their worst home loss. The worst home loss, by the way, of the Roy Williams era, excuse me. They won by 25. And it was the first time we talked about the Big Ten ACC, championship thing or whatnot, that they won since 2015, I believe, that they won the tournament outright. Are the Buckeyes for real, Double J? The Buckeye men, they ranked 6th right now. If you one of those folks, or for all the folks out there who big on rankings or whatnot, they ranked 6th, by the way. You impressed? No? Double J? Oh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where you taking?
You got to remember here.
Taking a smoke break?
You said it yourself.
No, okay, got you.
No.
I'm just saying. Oh, you talking to Jerry Jones on the other line? No.
I wanted you to chew on that thought for a minute. I wanted you to hear that and let it sink in.
Oh yeah. Oh, got you.
I know it means you.
Got you. I wish I had a button. I wish I had a button that said "bull" on it. But go ahead.
But no, absolutely. You can't deny the results right now. It is, of course, it's December, but these caliber of victories matter heading into March.
Okay, these caliber. Oh, and by the way, keep your eyes out for Purdue too. Double J's alma mater. They balling. How tall is the entire Purdue roster? Double J, 8'9".
Oh, that'll be next year.
Oh, next year. Okay, because I mean, even the coach is what, 7'11". I'm just saying. And the cheerleaders are too doggone tall too. Anyway, I just seem like everybody tall down there in Purdue. What happened? I mean, my gosh, where did you all recruit from? Yeah, Look like a bunch of California Redwoods down there. They do. I tell you, down there in Purdue. Question number 4, and I thought this to be very, very, very interesting. The New York Yankees, Brother Rich, you're going to like this. The New York Yankees, and this is unprecedented too, team up with Amazon to stream games. Brother Rich, means what for Big Brand TV?
Right.
What does it mean for Big Brand TV?
It means what we're seeing every day. Big Brand TV, as we know it, is dying slowly, where all these streaming platforms are coming into fruition and manifesting. Everyone is going independent because people want a more intimate, direct experience with whatever it is that they're engaging with. And the younger generation are streaming things mainly through their handheld devices. And so now you don't have to have a big cable subscription. You have teams like the Yankees, like a team in Dallas, like a team, the Browns, like the Pittsburgh Steelers that have fans, the Lakers that have fans all over the world. They can just reach their individual teams through an app. And now with Amazon offering its own streaming platform, it's no wonder that a team like the Yankees with that kind of name recognition would attach themselves to that and just continue to reap more profit for the pinstripe.
Yeah. They say the plan by the Yankees and the Yes Cable TV network is to allow online streaming for a limited number of Yankees games. Right. Of course, possibly on Amazon's Prime Video service, starting as soon as the 2020 baseball season. The ultimate goal is to provide an annual streaming package at a cost, of course, say 1 year for $99. I mean, if you can pay for the Floyd Mayweather fight, you can pay for this, right? The move comes as the Yankees saw its TV ratings drop 17% this year. You know, here we go with that word again, ratings and drop. All right? I mean, folks out there want us to believe that the product we're seeing, whether it's the NBA and NFL, is just, it's at an all-time high. But the ratings say otherwise, right? And listen, here's the killer part about that. Not only was it a 17% drop, but this was despite the team winning their division. Now, Brother Rich, one more again. You're New York through and through. Name me a time that you think, now I ain't going to say name me a time. 17% drop and the Yankees winning their division, that don't go hand in hand with the Yankees, does it?
Right. I just want to drop this in there.
Go ahead.
I want to drop this in there on this while you're saying this. One thing that I think is overlooked with these ratings, with the NBA, with all of these sports, I think that why it's going down. People are not factoring in the effects on the economy, on the American people, and their inability to support some of these sports now. Because people are making real decisions about whether or not can they afford streaming packages and whether they want to deal. There's a lot of conversations that people may not want to have but within themselves and within the community, people can support. If you look at your neighborhood bars and if you look at your neighborhood restaurants, they're not as filled now during sporting times as they once were through just casual conversation. You're finding people are not going out as much as they are because people are making economic decisions, what I think is overall impacting the bottom line for sports as well.
Yeah, Double J, I mean, are you impressed by this? I mean, and you know, being more the analytics, Gully as well, both of y'all are very good at the analytics, you know, from a substantive, did I say that right, standpoint? I mean, you know, again, you know, more in depth. I mean, is this, you know, I'm talking about, like, give us some foresight into this whole streaming thing and, you know, and more teams doing this type of deal.
Oh, you know, about a year ago when DAZN was first brought to the forefront and it revolutionized the boxing world, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. And furthermore, that's been reignited in a different vertical with Disney Plus. They're hitting streaming numbers and subscription numbers that they anticipated in nearly a decade, and they did it in a day. So basically people have, you know, are starting to understand that this is very much a new norm. And so what you're starting to see is a different type of partnership amongst brands and providers and outlets. And so as you look into this, no different than at once upon a time on your traditional major media type, that being television. That's when you've seen the ACC network, the Big Ten network, the SECs, et cetera, because there was an opportunity there to capture, you know, that demographic. And that's why you also seen strategic moves. Again, they're following the money. And if you can get a larger piece of the pie and keep control, because you can win in a few different ways here that otherwise wasn't possible in the past. Naturally, when you form an agreement with a broadcast company, you're going to get a share of the advertising revenue versus you are the product and you're getting, you know, and you're the provider. That hasn't been done before.
Okay.
Until just, you know, within these last few years. So that's the game changer. It's going to get very interesting because across the board, numbers are down.
Yeah.
And it continues to be a fight for viewership. And so we're going to, you know, I'm going to say pay very close attention to this and to see what develops over the next 12 to 24 months, because that will be ultimately what sticks.
You know, also, and I think this is interesting of note, Amazon, whose Prime Video service has already struck a number of live sports streaming deals, which include the English Premier League, Brother Rich, Double J, the soccer thing. I'm pretty sure you all are familiar with that, and with the NFL for 11 Thursday night football games. And that was this season. I don't know about the Thursday night games. They might have to go back and redo that because some of the Thursday night games have been just absolutely atrociary. And that's my word. They've been absolutely terrible. Gully, you and I have had discussions about cable, quote unquote, in the past for various reasons. So let me ask you, is this the final, would this be the final nail in the coffin for cable companies?
It would be. However, the one out that they have is the multiple different outlets, making it too confusing to find it, right? You just pointed out, you know, Amazon striking a deal with the Yankees. Okay, that's one team in the MLB in one sport, right? It's the same sort of thing that's happening with boxing right now, where you got the Zone, you've got PBC, you've got them on Fox, you've got them on ESPN, you've got them a lot of places. And if you want to watch your sport, you want to watch your sport in a place you can find it. The only thing that would keep cable around is that cable can just be that one sport or that one area to find the programming. If the streaming services, or one of them could emerge as the dominant streaming service provider for multiple teams or what have you, then things would change. But the fragmentation of the different networks and what they can provide will probably allow cable to stay around a little bit longer.
Yeah, interesting. And then if that happens, then we'll see cable bills go back to $25 million a month, right?
No question.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, well, I guess we're going to have to come up with our own TV station, too, or a TV show or program or something. We're going to have to come up with something, fellas, because this cable thing, I don't know, man. You know, a lot of folks was cutting the cords and so on and so forth, and going to, streaming services like Sling and YouTube TV and whatnot. But, even some of the prices for those entities have gone up to the way of cable almost. So, I mean, I don't know, as a consumer, I guess, I don't know how you get out from up under it, but whoever comes up with a way for folks to make it affordable, especially for the common man, because it's the common man who really watches most of the sports. Now, I'm not saying the big wigs and the folks in the higher tax brackets don't, but I'm pretty sure when you talk about percentages of viewership, it comes from more so the average Joe, so to speak. Let somebody come up with a way where I can watch it affordably. They get my dollar and my vote every time out. You see what I'm saying? I'd like for the next president, whoever that may be, to include something like that. But go ahead. What'd you say, Double J?
That if, again, follow the money. And, if you look at the projections, you're still talking about hundreds of billions of dollars that are going around in terms of ad revenue across all of these platforms here. Through 2023, cable will actually only lose about 8% of its revenue, despite such a decline in overall viewership, and that's simply they're offsetting those costs onto the advertisers. So again, something to pay close attention to, because you can only have somebody else shoulder a burden for so long. So not to mention with the recent verdict with the lawsuit with Comcast specifically. Don't be surprised if they try to quietly diversify. And I do want to give Byron Allen a lot of kudos and a salute.
Yeah, for me too. Boy, Byron Allen, he's lightweight behind the scenes, is punching folks in the gut. Our last question is also baseball related, and one I also found very, very interesting, more so actually than this whole Amazon streaming thing. And it centers around former Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs, may he rest in peace. We all know that there's some rule changes coming next year for Major League Baseball. A lot of these professional, boy, I'm telling you, if it ain't a senior moment, it's a tongue-tied moment, right? But a lot of these, professional sports entities, they getting ready, they collective bargaining agreements, all of that stuff is getting ready, on the calendar. It's coming up kind of soon. But according to ESPN, union head Tony Clark addressed a particular potential and a particular rule change about players that I found very, very, very interesting. And I think the NFL should take note. I'm not sure how the NBA handles it, but if they do it like the NFL, they should take note too. This change would be to send players who have opioids in their system to treatment rather than suspend them. And they say the league, of course, began to think about testing players for opioids or whatever last year after, of course, the death of Tyler Skaggs. And I didn't know this until after I read the story on this, that the autopsy surrounding his death, he had fentanyl and oxycodone in his system. And let me just say this sidebar right quick here. I won't mention any names, but this whole deal with fentanyl, and having worked at a pharmaceutical company, Gully, you know, even though they didn't handle fentanyl where we worked at, I'm just saying as far as pharmaceuticals go, fentanyl is wicked. It is, and that's an understatement. That's putting it mildly. You can't even be, what's the one, and anybody can throw this out here, what's the one drug or something that is a powder and folks were sending it to like senators and so on and so forth? What's the powder that is real bad? Help me out
Anthrax.
here. Anthrax. Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, this fentanyl got anthrax beat by a mile. I know a guy, he's no longer here, but he was messing around with the stuff, doing stuff he had no business doing in the first place. You get what I'm saying? And he inhaled it. He was around it too long. I mean, it wasn't even 30 minutes. They found him on the kitchen floor. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Fentanyl, and they mixing it with heroin.
Wow.
If fentanyl is no joke. So before, WJ, it sounded like you was going to say something, but before you do, let me just finish reading this little statement here. I don't know who we are, I guess baseball. Just because this is Clark talking. We believe wholeheartedly, as we always have, I doubt that the treatment option and not discipline is the best route to go. That is the part that I think the NFL and the NBA, if they do like the NFL, should really take note on. Because when I read that portion of this, it made me think about Josh Gordon, and even though I know it wasn't the case, Myles Garrett here recently with the fight and so on and so forth. This whole deal about the NFL keeping players away from the team, you know, it's contradictory, if you would, in that on one hand, how often do we hear about the professional athletes and so on and so forth, all this being a brotherhood? Like you spend more time around your teammates than you do your family sometimes or whatnot, right? So when a guy gets caught for doing something or going against the rules of the NFL, and in particular we're talking about, you know, drug usage or whatever, usage of foreign substances or whatnot, part of the NFL's thing is, you know, can't be around a team, you can't practice or nothing. Well, if it's such a brethren and a brotherhood, that would be the one instance where I would say, okay, yeah, you did this, but, you know, why would you keep the player away from the one thing that could maybe help him stay the course, if that makes any sense? You know what I mean? So, and again, let me just finish reading the rest of the statement. He said that the treatment option and not discipline is the best route to go, Clark said. He said, I'm pretty confident that's where we're going, and I think that they should. And this, at the end of it all says, you know, this certainly would be a huge change for Major League Baseball and may be a big step in helping players get the help they need if they're battling addiction. So, and that's the word I think I was looking for, addiction. In the case of the NFL, Gully, we'll let you have at it on this one. When it comes to addiction in particular, why do they do that? Why would they not, you know, well, I think they may have let Josh go to treatment. Yeah, he did. But I'm talking more so, you know, about keeping players away from the team and whatnot. Go ahead.
Well, punitive measures for, let's say, drug addiction, if you want to call it that when it comes to marijuana, really affect the bottom line in the positive for players in leagues not called the Major League Baseball. In Major League Baseball, you don't have such an issue. I don't know. I'd have to do the numbers. I don't know how substantially it affects the bottom line when players, or how it affects a team's bottom line when players have issues, the disciplinary issues, as it relates to substance abuse. I mean, let's think about it this way. When Ryan Braun got himself in trouble for steroids, like how negatively did it affect the bottom line for the Brewers? As such, if you don't have a negative effect on the bottom line, you can actually treat issues with more concern, which is what the MLB is doing as it relates to opioids, versus treating them more so to has a benefit of a lack of discipline on those players, which is what the NBA and the NFL do. And you can read between the lines to see exactly why.
Brother Rich, what say you about all this?
Well, I think Gully summed it up for us. In the interest of time, I think that the NFL is who and what they have always been.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sums it up. Yeah, in the interest of time.
Here's the thing. I want to say this. I didn't want to take too much time because you're asking us to kind of keep up. And when somebody makes a point, I don't want to traipse over what he said, but let me add just to this. And this is the wire that sometimes you never want to touch. I said the NFL, I mean the baseball, the Major League Sports, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL. We understand that there is a fact that when they say Braun or this one or that one, or they decide to make opioids that the white players are getting involved in, now we're going to treat that. But when the black players were doing whatever drug they were doing, they were punished very harshly. That's a societal factor. We can't overlook that. That's very obvious that they are now. So people are looking at this saying, well, look at what's happening here. Look at what's going on with Michael Vick. You can't forgive Michael Vick for doing this, but you could forgive this. These are the things that, unfortunately, America and across the landscape, we can't. Those are the conversations that are never far from us that we have to reach and delve into. Whenever we look at everything, we just can't say, well, no, there is no societal impact of them now bringing in rules that alter the punishment all of a sudden when you get caught with opioids. Now, there should be no punishment for drugs at all. They should all be treated as the clinical and medical and societal dysfunctional things that they are, all of us and all our families. They impact every one of us, regardless of creed, or color, or class. Nevertheless, let's treat it that way and not just treat it as though, well, when it impacts one community, we can support that and sustain that, and we understand that. But when it impacts another community, we come about it from a different angle. That's what we're saying with that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm glad you said it that way because, WJ, before you weigh in, I just want to add, too, a lot of times we punishment is rendered, based on the end result as opposed to looking at the root cause. Now, I'm not excusing it nor condoning it, but what I am saying is, in most cases, especially some of the people that I've talked to, I won't mention the name here, but there's a homeless shelter, that's not the word I'm looking for, where you can go, people who don't have a place to stay, it's a men's shelter or something or another. And, I went down there one time. I know the guy that kind of like the director down there. And I went down there and I talked to a few of the guys, and they were addicted to something or another at one point or whatnot, and we're trying to get their lives together or whatnot. But, in talking to the gentleman, they really laid out, it put some perspective on this whole addiction thing. The guy said, man, I had a wife and a house and a job and da-da-da. He said, I came home, man, and my wife was, cheating, so she was cheating on me or whatnot, you know what I mean? And he said, man, it was tough to handle. He said, I was either going to go all the way to the left or I was going to go that way. You know what I'm saying? And he said, and I started, dealing with it. He said, because I had helped, like put her through school. He had a lot of things he had done that what society say as a man you supposed to do. You be the provide and da-da-da-da. He said, I did all of this and that. And this is the repayment I got. He said, man, I couldn't wrap my head around it for a while. He said, so I chose to be in a cloud. You understand what I'm saying? So this or that led to this, which in and of itself, he said, once I got on him, man, it was hard to, he said it was tough to break it. So you put a guy like that who get caught maybe once or twice or something, in front of a judge ain't really looking at all the backstory. He giving him 6 months, 18 months, so on and so forth. So to your point, Brother Rich, you're right. I know it's a lot of cases out there, but, I employ these judges, look, or whoever they go in front of, hey, take a look at a guy's backstory and suggest treatment as opposed to incarceration or being locked up. Go ahead, Double J. What were you going to say?
Well, a few things. First and foremost, on the larger scale, you pointed out just how treacherous fentanyl is, and to know that lately there's been discoveries kind of nationwide with what's known as car fentanyl. which is 100 times stronger
Whoa.
than fentanyl.
Whoa, okay.
So,
to fill us in. What's going on?
So this is why it's very alarming, with the crisis that's on our hands nationally, because, again, nobody's immune to this. And basically, it's only, unfortunately, the way things are trending, it's only a matter of time before a Tyler Skaggs type of story happens again and, elsewhere. So especially that brand that tends to protect itself, the league that, and I'll give you this story. There was once upon a time here, I was very close with a particular player within the league, and basically everything was was within an arm's reach or a phone call to the team doctor. And so, in my case, I was able to get a Z-Pack, immediately. And so, because I had a cold and I was back and better than ever within, just a few hours. And so, what terrifies me is that a league that derives upon its, the violent nature, and you've had stories of players like Brian Urlacher being very public, and another Chicago Bear and Jim McMahon, and so many others that being able to, I'm very surprised that they don't take a more proactive approach. But then again, we look at who they get their source of funding from, so the hypocrisy isn't really a surprise to us.
Yeah.
At the same time, speaking of the MLB, as of 9:30 this morning, they're no longer testing anyone, minor or major leagues, for marijuana anymore. So they're tending to take a more progressive approach to maybe allow the opportunity for those to medicate, in many states legally, but differently.
Okay.
And not resort to something else, which may have led somebody like a Tyler Skaggs down the road, or at least introduced him to something of that nature. So again, it's worth taking a really hard look at, and I think the fact that I do want to applaud Major League Baseball, regardless if it's reactionary, because what it does is it forces the rest of the league. You've seen guys like Matt Barnes in the NBA and many other former players that have been very vocal about their usage of marijuana. And it's about time that the rest of these organizations stop pretending and
nice choice of words.
Do what's in the best interest, because pretty soon here you're going to see some new folks that want to spend some ad revenue with them. And we'll see if they're going to be willing to do that. And I can tell you right now that Major League Baseball will be the first one that'll be on board.
Interesting. That is very, very interesting. Too, I'm with you, man. At the end of the day, what you're saying ultimately sounds like, hey, it don't matter how we get there, just as long as we're going in that direction. Whatever the reason are or the reason is for kickstarting this thing off and going to the direction of, let's cut it out altogether. Fine. We can talk about that all day. As long as something is happening in favor of the player, so to speak. All right? I'm not saying if as a player I would do it or whatnot, but, these guys, man, they put their bodies and the trainer, the stuff that they got to, what you got to do to be in tip-top shape, to be a professional and stuff anyway. Who would, I'm thinking they would know best, right? As opposed to the guy who never done it but get to sit and reside over it and say, no, you, and no, you, and no, you. It's always the guy sitting up in the chair, in the high chair, right? Yeah, eat you some Gerbers. All right, if you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. We now move on to the NFL Week 14 notable team performances. And, of course, as always, as my co-host to the left and the one up north, and sometimes a guy in the bus, like to discuss the Cleveland Browns, a.k.a. the Cleveland Clowns. It's a lot going on surrounding the Browns here lately. And in particular, point out a few things here. Baker Mayfield, once again, is putting his foot in his mouth. I was watching Get Up today, and I don't know. I'm sure that you all can go back and take a look at it if you would. And I wish you all would. You three gentlemen in particular, and the 2.5 people out there that's listening to us, 2 grown-ups and 1 baby. But anyway, Desmond Howard, because this was a subject. Greenberg brought this up on the show today. And if I'm going to watch anything, it's going to be them. Since they've made changes, Get Up is on the way up in terms of rating and what we seeing on the screen. You get what I'm trying? It's worth tuning into. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to yeah, it is, as opposed to when some other folks was on there. But anyway, it was kind of stale and dull. It was got a little lively now. They had Desmond Howard on there, and this was a topic. Baker's comments about OBJ's injury, hernia injury. Now, there's some talk now that OBJ is asking out of Cleveland. I'm not surprised. Baker's comments were, the doctors handled it wrong. And I somebody posted it too on Facebook, and I said, okay, so since when we start doing that now? And then why would you speak on another man's hernia? See, this is the kind of stuff I don't like here, man. For whatever reason, stardom, guys here don't handle stardom very well. They really don't. Despite success or non-success or lack thereof here. They come out their mouth with stuff, man, that, a lot of athletes in a lot of cities done said some stuff for sure. But here, it's mind-boggling to me, man. At some point, somebody got to pull your coat and say, hey, man, when they stick the microphone on your chin, man, just say next question. Or just say, I don't want to talk about that. Say something other than, giving, a full 42-page dossier on another guy. So, yeah, and then Freddie had to come out and say, we talked to Baker about, basically, you don't speak on another man's, you don't talk about another man's what's going on, injuries and so on and so forth, and you shouldn't. But in particular about the Browns, man. Yes, and they did. They beat the Bengals. What was the score, Gully? 19.5 to 19? Brother Rich and Double J, I'm sure, sat through the whole thing in its entirety. You know what I mean? Seeing how they got the drop top gassed up and ready to go. But the Browns have had 3, I repeat, 3 winning seasons in the last, how many years you think, Brother Rich?
I believe that's probably the same thing as the Cowboys, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Because the Cowboys are next. The Cowboys are next. And just slow it down. Double J, how many seasons you think it's been? The Browns had 3 winning seasons in the last, how many years? Don't Google either. You're a Googler. Oh, you're not?
No, I was just going to say they have as many playoff wins as the Cowboys. In the last I'm glad time frame as well.
I'm glad you and your drop top riding buddy, y'all deflecting. Gully, you might know this. Gully, you're not a Googler. Gully, don't use no Google. Don't use Google for this. 3 winning seasons in the last how many years?
3? How'd you get to 3 and 20?
3 close. 3 winning seasons in the last 29 years. Oh, but they're gonna win out.
Well, wait a minute. You even count the hiatus stuff, because that's a little bit
in the
unfair.
Last 29. I'm counting it all.
Baltimore Browns for 3 years.
Yeah, I'm counting it all. The last 29 years. 29 seasons.
But Gully, how are you supporting this man in this? We're talking about the Cleveland Browns.
I'm giving you facts.
While this man is an avid supporter and fan of the Dallas Cowboys, who are the most overrated, overpaid franchise.
Okay, wait a minute.
Modern football.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Worth $10 billion, trillion, and have not won anything in 50 years.
Slow down, because I got some stuff on the Cowboys too. But first of all, did you say I'm an avid supporter? That is such a baseless claim, because you're basing it on what? I'd like to know.
Pull the tape. Let me tell you what I'm basing it on.
Okay.
Pull the tape.
Okay.
Pull the tape. You have not, in this whole year of this program, you have not said one positive thing about the Cleveland Browns. Every week,
I'm definitely. That's what you know. What?
What has been the offing for the Dallas Cowboys?
Okay.
You were ready to sacrifice Baker Mayfield to the gods a few weeks ago, so that Dak Prescott could win. Whatever. You thought he was getting ready to ride off into the sunset, sir.
No, I did not. But you know what? I'm glad you said pull a tape, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to necessarily pull a tape. I'm going to pull all of the headlines, the topic headlines for each show we've done in regards to this NFL football talk. And I will definitely have it ready for you and Double J and Gully, too, if you want. You want some of this, too, Gully? You see, Brother Richard, he know better than to do that. He's no better than do that, but I got something for you there, Chief. I'm just trying to look out for you, Chief. The Browns' last.
He riding with you apparently.
No, he ain't. No,
y'all riding together on that one.
Because he's a realist. He's a realist. Yeah, he's right. We tell the truth on this program. And the Browns' last playoff appearance, 2002. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Boy, the reruns are killing
people. When was the Cowboys' last playoff appearance? When was the Cowboys? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a Cowboy fan.
Sir?
I'm a Miami Hurricane fan.
So.
I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I can tell you our last whooping with a yellow flag. Yeah, I can tell you. I'm a Hurricane fan, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah, boy, the reruns, as I said, are killing me. Because it seems like every year, no matter what the Browns have, talent-wise or not, the sentiment is what, Gully? What's the expression here that's been here in Cleveland before you were born, when you were born, during your bornness, and now that you're grown? What is the tagline for the Browns? Only in Cleveland. Yeah,
Wait for next year.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, that one too. Number 2, the Cowboys. They have been about as bad as the Browns in recent memory. You like that? How deep, I ask, are Jerry's pockets to afford that humongozoid of a scoreboard, or America's team, quote unquote, looking about as bad as the Browns have in as many years? Gully. Oh, okay. Well, it's a lot of crickets on this program today. A lot of crickets. Oh, and Brother Rich, by the way, that rented mule. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just saw that first energy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I just saw that first.
A good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I just saw that first energy. You might want to go down there and beat it. You and Double J. It's in a drop top tomorrow, today. Don't make no difference to me. Yeah, Gully.
You got the people from Peter listening to your broadcast.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If they listening, it ain't because of me. It's because of you and Double J and them rented mules. Stop it. Gully, yeah, Jason Garrett got to go. You think so?
I guess it's time. I mean, it's been a while. They haven't reached nearly the potential that one expected that they have. I think it might be good for Jason Garrett. But I feel like too, that team, I think Jerry Jones as an owner has way too much input, and I believe the conflict of interest that innately would happen by an owner having one direction and being vocal about a team versus the general manager or the other superiors ahead of a head coach is part of, if not the problem. I don't know why it worked before 1996, but it hasn't worked since then. So I think something's got to change. While Garrett didn't perform as well, the next coach is going to either tolerate it or not. I think even Bill Parcells didn't tolerate it. That's why he didn't last long as a Cowboys head coach.
Yep.
So I think that's already a problem there.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And it didn't work for the Browns in 1996 either. They weren't here. Anyway, Brother Rich, Double J, I found something on social media I thought that you and Double J, before y'all get in the drop top in December and ride up, off into the sunset. I don't know how true this is or not, but apparently, or it's allegedly, Randall Cobb had a few comments. Randall Cobb supposedly said, on going from Aaron Rodgers to Dak Prescott, he said, and again, I don't know how true this is, he said, it's like crashing a 2019 Ferrari and your insurance company replaces it with a 2004 Honda Civic. That kind of hurt. Ouch. That's that's
oh.
yeah, that's lightweight, cold blooded. You know what I'm saying? There's a few people on here to say that's not true. That's a false statement. This fake news. But
That's a rough one.
yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty. Double J, you don't have nothing to say about that, huh? Did you find that rather humorous?
Well, I'm surprised you would bring such a thing up.
Well,
I am also.
why would you be surprised? Hold on. We built this city on rock and roll, baby. Why would you be surprised? Rock and roll and reality. Why would you be surprised at me telling the truth? That's TROOF for all y'all out there who can't spell. Why would you be surprised?
Just a few weeks ago, as Brother Rich pointed out, you said, pull the tape.
Oh, lies.
You and Jerry were like
lies.
You were like.
So you can't even get it out.
Video.
You can't even get it out.
The videos. And,
you can't get the lie out. You just can't get it out. See, what I don't understand is, and let me repeat this. Let me reiterate for the folks out there. All I said was, before the season started, we did a division by division discussion on this platform. Correct? Yes, we did. And when we got to the NFC East,
right.
I don't know why.
Declared it the best division in football.
I did. I will admit that. I said that. I was going off the history of. Okay, so I missed one. You know what I'm saying? Double J. You say that like when Randy Johnson threw you that curveball, like you was just swinging for the fences and not missing. Anyway, you and Brother Richard, both of y'all should have played shortstop next to Barry Larkin. Yeah.
You were more like that bird that flew when Randy Johnson threw that pitch.
You know what? You know what? Speaking of which, you and Brother Richard look like some of the guys out there that were throwing the first pitch, all to the backstop. Anywho, Gully, you see what I got to go through when you're not here? You see what I'm saying? Well, apparently when you're here too, I guess it don't matter, right? No holds barred. Yeah, all right.
I'm just laughing, taking it all in. Bro.
I bet you are. Yeah, the Cowboys are terrible. The Browns are even more terrible. And that's with a capital terrible. So, ain't that something? You know what I'm saying? They team is hot garbage, stinking up the joint, and they got the nerve, they backyard, you can see the fumes from the stink and the stench. And they got the nerve to be pointing over my backyard talking about why you got garbage in your yard? Ain't that the pot calling the kettle garbage? Anywho, the San Francisco.
At least you're finally claiming your yard. At least you're
I'm not claiming anything.
Finally hearing you
I'm not claiming anything. I was just using it as an example. Stop with the madness. The San Francisco 49ers Saints game, Double J, was that the game of this current NFL season to you? Was that like the game of the week, game of the year, game of the decade? What was it? Go ahead and embellish. Go ahead. Just add, put extra sauce on it and all that good stuff. Was it a whopper?
Well, I'll say it was. No, it was a good game.
Don't downplay. Oh my gosh,
I'm surprised.
Oh my gosh,
Mr. Today himself was okay with the lack of defense.
I didn't say that. But I did not. Boy, oh boy, oh boy! I cannot wait till I get some brand new buttons. You and Brother Rich are in for it. That's all right, but keep piling them up. I'm doing just like Renter Center. When you don't come, that 12-month same as cash, yeah, I'm adding up the interest because I know in that 13th month you're going to be like, oh, I didn't know I had to pay. Yeah, you do. It's accrued. But continue.
I actually was more impressed by Lamar Jackson and his ability to find a way to beat that Buffalo defense.
What?
They're very underrated, and he went on the road and he did what he had to do to get his team the victory. Lost his tight end in the process, but again, it was that I can't speak more highly than about anybody in this league this year than him.
Oh, and I thought the white sleeves and the white glove was a nice touche to the 49ers broadcaster the other day. Anyway, yeah, Lamar did his thing up there.
Right.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, talking about you can't see the ball because it's, you know what. Anyway, I bet you can see it now, right? Yeah, Lamar did his thing, man. That's why I said earlier when we started the program, I got a feeling, man, if things stay the way they are, we might see Kansas City and the Ravens in the AFC Championship. And I say Kansas City now, whereas maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago I wouldn't have. I don't know. Gully, maybe you can explain this for me. What in the world happened to the Chiefs defense? All of a sudden, I can't even think of the defensive lineman's name. The guy came out and said, we feel so good about our defense now, we ain't even worried about whether the offense can score or not. What? What happened, man? The Chiefs' defense is number one these last couple of weeks in every defensive type of category. What in the world is going on with the Chiefs, man? Even though
I think they're starting to realize, what the missing, what's going to separate them from the rest. I think they're starting to realize that on the defensive side of the ball is just as important. And I think they're starting to, take responsibility for the fact that they don't want to be blamed, if you will, for while the Chiefs come up short. We know how prolific the offense is. And I think these guys know what they're capable of. So they want to really make sure to put their stamp on the fact that, this is their moment. They see where the team to beat in the AFC is no longer the Patriots, and it's their time to arrive. And I think they're really going to seize that opportunity. And it's really just about just making that effort to really realize and coming to your own expectations and all that. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, that's
fact.
Yeah,
fact.
that's
fact.
good stuff. Double J, you want to add to that, or detract, take away from, or can you?
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, they made some significant changes, but again, they have some marquee players there, as you mentioned, Jones, Harrison, Buckner. Being able to capitalize on from the field goal because of Jones. That's not the traditional MO from Andy Reid.
I know.
An Andy Reid coached team.
I know. Yeah, it's not. It's not. And, speaking of the Chiefs defense, you know who I think really is the catalyst for all of this change on that side of the ball? The Honey Badger. He been quietly going about his business, man. Real nice like. Yeah, they got something nice on the back end, man. Could you finally see Andy Reid getting to a Super Bowl and winning it? Could this be their year, Double J?
Fact.
Yeah, I'm going
to say.
Go ahead.
It all falls on the health of these quarterbacks. You got Mahomes with a hand injury.
Yeah, I was going to mention
Lamar
that as
Jackson,
well.
let's pay close attention here. We won't be back until next week. So in just 2 short days, Lamar Jackson goes back to work. And we know how the majority of the league feels about those Thursday games. But he's got the hamstring. He says he feels great. But, naturally that, so again, if these guys hold up, it will make. I can't wait for this postseason. It's the first time I've said that. Truthfully, usually you got to wait a week or two before you get those marquee matchups. But I'm telling you, you look on both sides, NFC and AFC.
Yeah,
it is going to be must-see TV.
Yeah, the wild card on through, and that's a very good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah, because even in the NFL, you would think you didn't have to wait to the divisional rounds to actually see a game worth watching. But I think from the wild card on, as a matter of fact, the last week of the season is going to be lit too, as the young folk like to say. But going back to the 49ers and the Saints right quick, Drew Brees did his thing. Is San Fran's offense just because the Saints' defense is not terrible, but 48-46, did you see that coming from San Fran, putting up 48 with Jimmy G? I mean, when is the last time that the 49ers went on the road and put up that many points? Probably during the Joe Montana era. Gully? You think?
This is great. I didn't think. I thought it was a novelty act, really. I thought it was just kind of like, maybe they were starting to realize their potential, and this is going to be kind of like a fluke year where they're good, and then then things that kind of taper off, going into this season. But clearly, I'm pleasantly surprised by the Niners. That was a great win for them, and they're a solid organization right now from top to bottom. And I really feel like they are a strong contender to upset everything that I thought about the NFC this year.
Yeah, and I say that too. I think they definitely win the division, NFC West. The Seahawks are good, but they didn't look so hot the other day. And I know we mentioned this last week as well, and they weren't one of the teams for this week. But I will throw this out here on the AFC side again. The Titans, boy, I was dead wrong about them guys. What got into Ryan Tannehill? Brother Rich, what you think? You know what I mean? Well, and let me tell you right quick a little bit his story. He used to be a wide receiver at Texas A&M. Wasn't it Texas A&M, Double J?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I forget what school he went to, but yeah, he used to be a wide receiver. Yeah, he converted to a quarterback.
Well, but that's right. Yes, he did, and I'm going to just point this out here. If you go back to when it was nice and sunny out here in the Midwest, specifically when we did the preseason predictions, that part I said, let's see what happens if Ryan Tannehill gets a chance.
Yeah, I remember that.
What he did in Miami was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I remember that. And the Titans really still don't have, what all of the teams we constantly hearing about, the popular teams have in terms of personnel, so to speak. Especially when Delaney Walker went down, I was like, oh, that might not be good for them. But, I guess it speaks to this whole ideal. I don't know where it originated from, and I don't know why we keep hearing it. But this whole idea about the NFL running back being devalued, well, I do know why we keep hearing it, because it's all for negotiation, posturing purposes, to try to lowball a guy when it come time to pay him. But you tell me now, we talk about Tannehill's balling pretty good for the Titans, but that's got a lot. Derrick Henry got a lot to do with that. Got a lot to do with that.
Absolutely, but as somebody that has Derrick Henry in his fantasy league, which also means I've seen that value in August.
Oh, my God.
As in years past, no less. I want to point out that Mike Vrabel built Tennessee in a Bill Belichick-esque manner.
Yeah, he did.
If you look around, you may – now, Corey Davis is not a marquee name, but in college he was. And it's all about, again,
Corey Davis played.
Who was Devontae Parker with?
Corey Davis went to Central Michigan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was a
stud there, no different than his
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
His predecessor. Yeah.
Yeah. Or was it Western Michigan? My bad. They got the horse on the side of the helmet, like the Broncos.
Oh, that's right.
Western Michigan. Yeah. When I said Central, I pictured Central with the maroon color helmets and the yellow C, but no, it's Western Michigan. My bad. But yeah,
that's right.
Corey Davis was a yeah.
That was one of PJ Fleck's guys.
Right. Yeah.
The coach in now Minnesota, of course, making some noise in the Land O'Lakes there. But nevertheless, here, if you look at that team and the way it's built, it doesn't generally have, like you said, the major names that you're accustomed to, but yet they find a way, to get the right players in the right positions, i.e. Derrick Henry, and build a quality offensive line. If you look at some of their draft picks for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years, early rounds, unlike, say, the Indianapolis Colts, they were taking offensive linemen. So,
I remember us discussing that too. We were talking about the whole Andrew Luck thing or whatever, and Jacoby Brissett, and Andrew Luck was like, where was this offensive line at when I was there? But go ahead. Yeah. The Titans, man, they get in, man. They might make some noise when they get there. I don't know how far they could go, but, I'm just telling folk now, don't sleep on them. Don't be surprised because they physical. That's, I think, is the key, man. They are a physical football team. But like you said, Vrabel's down there. He building them in the Bill Belichick-esque type of fashion, yeah. All right, fellas. Lastly, before we get out of here, and I appreciate everything y'all said on the show today, except for that Dallas Cowboy crap reference. College football playoff. You got Ohio State and Clemson in a rematch. Brother Rich, do the Buckeyes come out on top in this one? Do they have a chip on their shoulder?
No.
You think Clemson
They have a chip on their shoulder, but it's gonna get knocked off.
like the rented mule? Anyway, yeah, right, gotcha. Would you think Clemson gonna do it again? You think they're gonna beat them again?
Like a rented mule ridden by a cowboy.
Gully, yeah. Oh my gosh! You know what? yeah. I don't know why I do this to myself. We got a caller here. Hold on one second. We at the end here now almost. Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, I think this is my man. Oh, this is my dude. Got to be the Doc. I don't recognize everybody's number.
Yo.
It's the Doc. Doc, what's happening? Y'all need some backup on the show today, man. I need some
Nothing
backup.
much, man.
Oh, my gosh. Brother Rich and Double J, man, they just beside themselves today. Beside themselves.
That's how they do. They gang up on you when I ain't there.
Oh, exactly. Oh, that's what it take, huh? Warriors, come on and play.
Yeah, they got a double team on you.
Yeah. We were talking about the upcoming NFL playoffs. Well, I actually mentioned the college football playoffs. But to go out, since you're just now joining us, we'll hop back over right quick. We're talking about the Titans. If the Titans get in the playoffs, man, you think they can make some noise?
I see them making it past the first round, but maybe that's about it. I give them the second round at the max.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I kind of had that in the back of my mind too, but I couldn't get the thoughts out because Brother Rich and Double J kept talking about Jerry Jones, the scoreboard, rented mules, kicking, beating Peter. It was just a whole bunch of nonsense going on. I don't know where they're coming from with that. You know what I mean? I told Brother Rich and Double J, I said, don't let the sauce be your boss. I don't know what's all this drinking on the program.
You hear me?
Yeah, we're going to have to cut this out at 786 Media. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not going to be a lot. Matter of fact, everybody's packages from this day forward who come in the building going to have to be searched and seized. Okay? It's a lot of flasks going on. Yeah, thoroughly. Yeah, I'm going to need some see-through bags is what I'm going to need. Yeah, we can get some TSA agents up in this piece. You understand what I'm saying? But, we actually was getting ready to get out of here, too, to tell you the truth. But I will go back to the college football playoff. Clemson and Ohio State, Doc. I mean, Brother Rich, I started with him. He said Clemson do it again. What say you?
I'm taking Clemson, man. Like, they looking unstoppable. They rolled through Alabama last year. They rolled through Alabama this year. Like, why not? I say Clemson.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have you and Brother Rich with me when I go into the barbershop because let me tell you something. I've been saying Clemson. Man, do you know I had to wear a disguise at work, man? Them Ohio State fans do not like me at all. But guess what? I'm a Kane fan. I said, y'all got us. The laundry came out late after everybody had went home. Wink, wink. But you know what I'm saying? I don't mince nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We took the L. It's all good. That's how we do it in Canes Nation, baby.
Yeah.
Ed Reed. Anyway, man, I said Clemson. They was like,
only
what?
reason I say,
yeah, man. I said Clemson,
go
man.
ahead.
They turned the machines off and everything, man. You could hear a pin drop. Everybody in mom was looking at me, man, from across the room. They was like, oh, yeah, you think you going home tonight? Not going to happen, Jay. I was like, whoa.
Not today.
Yeah, man, I had to crawl through the ventilation system, man, just so I could get to my car, man. It was bad, man. Yeah, so Double J, what
Clemson, dog.
You think it's going to be Clemson? Double J, who you think is going to be?
Yeah.
Now watch him say Central Michigan. Watch him say that. Or Akron. And they're not even in it. Go ahead, Double J.
Well, we know it won't be the Cowboys, but
yeah, it won't be the Cowboys.
Here's the thing.
Brother Rich, I'm gonna need you to slow down on the Helen, because that rented mule is coming. It's in your backyard right now. Place a call to Peter. What'd you say, Double J?
Well, again, the Buckeyes struggle against the run. Again, all you have to take a look at is that first half against Jonathan Taylor. And Travis Etienne is an incredible dual-purpose running back. So they do have a tough task It'll be interesting to see how Justin Fields handles the moment, and Ryan Day as well. So, if they do lose, it would be because Ryan Day was out-coached, and that, the caliber on the moment was too big for that team.
Gully, seeing how you are in the CO bus, you know what I mean? We're going to let you have the last word on that one. What do the Buckeyes, is what I call them, do they get some get back, or do they have to get back? Okay, what's happening?
The terrible thing about it is the mistakes, the momentum that Wisconsin had in the first half can be sustained by a Clemson team.
Oh, interesting.
And for that
reason,
that's going to be a very tough problem for Ohio State. I think Ohio State, talent-wise, can match up much better this time around versus Clemson. I think, too, Ohio State clearly, cleverly learned to adjust. But I don't know. I think I'm got real concerns. The fan in me only says Ohio State. The logic in me says Clemson has this one, has this rematch
in the bag,
without a doubt.
That's interesting. I'm glad you said that.
You're a smart man.
Yeah, I like how you worded that, Doc. Well, let me ask you this question too, though, right quick. Little sidebar: Justin Fields and Chase Young are the first, I believe, players from the same team to be up for the Heisman. You think that's pretty special? Pretty cool? Pretty slick? What?
I mean, they balled out, so it's special. I mean, you got to ball pretty hard in order to get even recognized as a Heisman candidate and make it all the way to the finals on the same team. Like, y'all were both pretty much feeding off of each other. Like, you making good plays on defense, I'm making good plays on offense. You know what I mean? So.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's something special. You don't see that often. That's something special. But then again, I don't want to be that guy, but it's just like, look at the teams they played. I mean, if they were
please
in the SEC,
be that guy.
That wouldn't happen.
Please be that guy.
I didn't want to be that guy. Like, but if you look at the schedule in this, like if they were in a different conference, maybe that wouldn't happen. Because you got teams in the SEC that are tough against the run, pass, and, Ohio State might not be able to match up with that. Like I said, they were Michigan State, Central Michigan. Who in the Big Ten is really an SEC caliber team that can stop Ohio State?
RB, if you're out there
nobody.
Listening, if you're out there listening, and I think you are, you heard what the man just said. One of my coworkers, his name, we go by the name RB, real good dude too. Him and this other guy named Shabani. They both were on the show a couple weeks back. We talking about the Packers and the Vikings. One RB is a Packers fan and Shabani is a Vikings fan, but RB is the Ohio State guy. Oh my gosh, he come around my area with the trumpets, dun, 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 that Buckeye thing. And I said the same thing, and that's the same line I've been giving to Buckeye fans. See, listen, let me just say this right quick. I don't knock nobody, ebonically speaking, for their fandom, for whatever team that they like. But don't be selective. If you're gonna tell it, tell the truth about the team. Don't be such the fan that when you see something, that when you see the truth, it ain't true because it's your team. Because it's your team. You get what I'm saying? I don't. I'll be the first one to tell you the Canes stink. They done stunk, and Diaz might be out again. We might be looking. I wish they'd bring back Butch Davis to tell you the truth. And we ain't been what the Canes was since we already know, what I mean, when the rules was changed, college football, 2001, Andre Johnson and all of them. But I'm just saying, I'll tell the truth. I'll be the first one to tell you, man, I'm not going to sit up there. But these Buckeye fans, oh, my gosh. It's minus Gully, Brother Rich and Double J. Oh, my God, they the worst. They are the worst. Go Buckeye.
You can't tell them nothing, man.
You can't tell them nothing. Nothing.
Can't tell an Ohio State fan nothing. We'll see when we get there. We've been beating y'all this long. It's like, okay, y'all beating Michigan and Michigan State, but really, who are we? You know what I'm saying? I'm a Michigan State fan. Like, it's the conference. Like, yeah, we do good in our conference, but if you look at the games we play outside of our conference, we get spanked. And it's like, because this conference is weak.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I could see if Ohio State matched up against
hold on.
a high-caliber team all year. It happened.
It's not Ohio State. That sounds like
Ohio
that.
It's not Ohio State. It's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys with him.
The Cowboys.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, Doc?
Cowgirls, more like it.
See what I'm saying, Doc? Yeah. See what I mean? You know that you know that syringe that you had that you might have to get Brother Rich and Double J up there, get them a shot or something. Some influenza.
I don't think they're ready for that dose
They
of
might get
realism.
some-
No, I
from
don't think they're ready
influenza.
for it.
But see,
They'll lose their mind. They probably burn all their Ohio State stuff. Like, I've been living a lie.
oh no. They carry Buckeyes around in their pockets. Trust me. They be trying to feed the squirrel. Even the squirrels don't want them Buckeyes. But yeah, I said that to the Buckeye fan, faithful, for the longest. I said, look, man, give Ohio State what Texas A&M had to deal with this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even talking about them right now. I guarantee it. And don't give me that yarn about we just play who in front of us. It ain't like the NFL. It ain't like the NBA. It ain't like the Major League Baseball. None of them other. I know we're not talking about professionals. I'm talking about scheduling. You, as a university, are in control of your non-conference schedule. You choose. If we ain't even talking about the conference itself, you choose. Look at Ohio State's non-conference opponents. See what I'm saying? This is what I mean by you beat up on the second graders, and you the freshmen in college, and then you want to come to the game with everybody else's freshmen and sophomores and juniors, and you want to come there like, yeah, make way because I'm the king. No. You don't get to prance. You don't get to preen after you done beat up on something less than. No. Start scheduling them type of teams that once y'all get out this. See, that's what they do. They beat up on the bottom feeders. The Miami of Ohio's, the St. Edwards. What's the high school out there, you Brother Rich? Mater Day. What's the high school up where you at, Double J? Yeah, that school. And the other high school where you at, Gully. And then they beat up on the team, the Speedway, the gas station people that they put together, and they run out to 7-0, and then everybody in the Buckeye Nation talking about, yeah, we the colors, we the colors. If you don't sit down and take them mothballs out your pocket, man, stop it. You know what I mean? Then when they get in the conference play, like you just said, a Michigan State man we got here now, the Michigan State man just said our team stink. See what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't gonna find no Buckeye team say that. You ain't gonna find no Buckeye fan, to say that. Yeah, they be. Oh, we blew Miami of Ohio out. What? Really? Oh man, I'm telling
right.
you.
Who is Miami of Ohio?
That's what I say too. Yeah, you see the Rented Mule.
What have they done?
Yeah, the Rented Mule folk is real quiet right now. You know what I'm saying? Brother Rich just got hired as the.
We're listening.
Yeah,
we're listening.
You should listen to this. He's the number one booster.
And learning.
He's the number one booster for Ohio State.
You hear this, Brother Rich? You hear Uncle Luke over here talking about?
Hey, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Double J.
Oh, don't get it twisted. Don't act like y'all ain't listening to Uncle Luke. Y'all kill me with the nonsense. I'm talking about, you hear Uncle Luke like y'all was like, no, we don't do that. We're so sanctified. We're sanctified. Stop it. Yeah, y'all was me so. Anyway, I ain't gonna even get into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was shaking y'all's tail feathers too. Stop it. I seen y'all in Atlanta in '99. Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm with you, Doc. You know what I'm saying? And man, you should see the sea of red. Anytime it's, man, folks, man, listen. On Friday, they be wearing all scarlet and gray. Scarlet and gray, yeah. Don't get me started on y'all. And then on the other side of things, you know what I mean? I know that Buckeye stuff. I know Brother Rich. Well, Double J, he just got hired as assistant athletic director up there, so I know Ryan Day gonna be happy about that addition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Brother Rich, being the number one booster, his bow tie allotment has increased, so he's gonna be handing out bow ties to everybody. Things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But on the other side of things, we got LSU and Oklahoma. Doc, I'll let you have it.
Ooh, that's gonna be the better one.
You think so?
Jalen Hurts versus Joe Burrow. Yes, that's gonna be the best matchup right there.
You think so?
I mean, the only reason I say that is, like I said, Ohio State, the Big Ten champs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you can say that, yeah.
Clemson, the real champ. So, I mean, I don't know. That's going to be an okay game. I'm not going to watch it because I don't like Ohio State, being real with you. But I really honestly think that the LSU and Oklahoma game will be better. only because both teams are similar in play. Both quarterbacks are similar in play. It's just Jalen Hurts, he might be a little bit more mobile, but they still play similar to one another. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see those two match up because it's like they never quit. It's like you score, Joe Burrow going to do everything he can in his power to come down and score. Same with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
They will crawl to the end zone if they had to.
Yeah.
So like when you get those type of workhorses that match up against each other, it's like you never know what you're going to. It might not even be a high-scoring game. But, I mean, when you got two workhorses like those two, when they match up, it's going to be epic.
Yeah, and they both got talent across the board, too. You know, I like Ed Ogeron,
Yeah, they
man.
got talent.
I like Ed Ogeron, man. You know, when you listen to him in his post game, he don't get caught up in all of that. You know, he's not baited easily by the reporters. Pay attention to his post game and pre game whatever pressers. Reporters like to ask questions so that they can have something to put the headlines in the newspaper the next day to be like bulletin board material. I mean, he just called it like it is. He like, man, I don't care nothing about whether we number 1, number 5, number 10, number 12. He said, man, we got to go win the next game. You know what I'm saying?
Right, he humble.
Yeah, man.
Win. That's that Bill Belichick attitude. It's like, it don't matter. We on the next game.
We got to go win the next game, man. You know,
I don't care about this game. We on the next game. Like, get off. Why y'all bringing up old stuff? Like, we already won. Next, what we gonna do about next week? All right, I'm gonna tell you what we gonna do about next week. That's what type of people they are. Yeah,
and for my man down there in the Bayou, my cat Herman Arvey, I just want to say, go Geaux, excuse me, go Tigers. Yeah, I talked to my man Herm. Well, we kind of texted each other back and forth the other day. Just wanted to send him a shout-out down there because he's down there in the Bayou right now. Brother Rich, let me go ahead and holler at you then right quick. You see LSU over Oklahoma?
Absolutely. They're for real. I know they take it for real down in that part of the world. Absolutely.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do. Football is serious like it is. Where at, Double J? Where's football? Where else is football at? That's serious at? Go ahead. That was your line. You missed your cue.
What, Texas?
Oh, wow. Really? All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry about them Longhorns. That you're
specifically the Dallas Fort Worth area.
You know what, man? You know what? See, ever since they made gambling legal in the state of Michigan, all of sports betting, Double J, you want to fill us in on that right quick? You know what I mean? Because Double J was all over social media earlier today talking about double down. And then Brother Rich said something about it. And the mules. I don't know what was going on with them two, but hey, it's all to the GO. Yeah, what's going on in the state of Michigan, Double J, with this sports betting thing?
Absolutely. So if you recall, just a few short months ago, I had pointed out that there was an addition to one of the 3 big casinos in Metro Detroit, that being MGM. So, of course, one of the various properties. So they chances are these folks have been lobbying for quite some time. This bill has been in existence for about 4 years for legalization of sports gambling. And again, we all know, as we, this show specifically, we've spoken time and time again about its impact on the games themselves in great detail. But it's a few years too late, in my opinion. And the reason being is they shut down all of the local horse tracks that were in existence, but it has officially been passed. So soon enough, you might hear from me reporting live from the MGM Casino in Detroit, and I'm going to work on some sponsorships.
Sounds good to me. And on that note, we will double down. I want to thank my callers today, and of course my co-hosts. They both had to leave us. My man Doc up there in the Michigan City, and my man from the Columbus D Gully. Appreciate y'all for joining us. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box, you type in the Shop Report, or you can check us out on our Facebook fan page, Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and give us a follow while you're over there, one of them spots if you're checking them out, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, of course, you can always get at us via email, the shopreport365@gmail.com. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's up in the NYC, Be Rich, and my man on the other side up north, Double J, and all those who follow us and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop J. You've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, Next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.